This man looks like an ordinary hose seller, but when night falls, he turns into a secret arms dealer supplying weapons to assassins. His name is Jinman, and an accident years ago causes him to vanish for 8 long years. When he suddenly returns home, the entire family is stunned. They all thought he was dead. Ji-an has no affection for this uncle who popped out of nowhere because he devours all the barbecue alone. But the good times don't last. Jinman's mother suddenly passes away for unknown reasons. Sensing something wrong, he insists on an autopsy. His older brother strongly objects, saying their mother has suffered for 5 years and deserves to leave peacefully. As the brothers argue more intensely, Jinman's sister-in-law tells him to take Ji-an home since she always causes trouble at funerals. The moment they leave, a man shows up claiming to be Jinman's old friend. Before dawn, uncle and niece sit on the couch in silence. Young Ji-an doesn't understand death. She only knows she'll never see her grandmother again. Suddenly, Jinman gets a call and his face hardens. He tells Ji-an he must go to the funeral home immediately to find her parents. While he's gone, his friend will come and ask her to open the door. But she must test the person with a riddle, and only the one who answers correctly can come in. After setting their secret code, Ji-an looks up and asks, "Will you be right back?" Jinman nods and promises he'll be right back. Not long after, Ji-an hears someone aggressively picking the lock. She approaches the door carefully and tries to confirm his identity with the riddle, but the person outside stays silent and forces the door open. Terrified, Ji-an backs away, and the intruder is suddenly yanked out of the apartment. A violent fight erupts in the hallway. Moments later, a young man steps inside. He writes the correct answer to the riddle on his phone and introduces himself as Jinman's friend. Hearing footsteps closing in, he tells Ji-an to hide in her room while he goes out to face the assassins. Curious, Ji-an peeks through the crack of the door, only to watch the young man get brutally killed. She slams the door in panic, the noise exposing her location. The assassins start searching the room until one notices the curtain fluttering. Outside, Ji-an is hanging onto the iron railing with trembling hands. He mutters that she really is Jinman's niece, just as brave as he is. Then he reaches out a hand, telling Ji-an to come up, but her strength gives out and falls hard onto an old sofa below. Ignoring the pain, she sprints toward the crowd, only to be struck by a passing van. The bystanders rush over, forcing the 2 assassins to retreat for now. Ji-an is rushed to the hospital. While unconscious, she vaguely hears police officers discussing the death of her parents. Late at night, a vicious wolf slips into her room, carrying a severed arm in its mouth. Ji-an jolts awake, sensing danger closing in. Meanwhile, an assassin has already entered the room and quietly attaches a suppressor to his gun. But when he pulls back the blanket, the bed is empty, just pillows underneath. Clever Ji-an has already escaped. In a panic, she rushes into the morgue and hides inside one of the freezers. The assassin soon arrives. He tells his partner he's found Ji-an, then walks into the morgue to search for her. That's when Ji-an realizes that the body lying beside her is her mother. Suddenly, gunfire erupts outside. She holds her mother tightly, desperately searching for a sense of safety. But the temperature inside the freezer is brutally cold, and she soon slips into unconsciousness. When the door swings open again, it's Jinman standing there. The moment he sees his sister-in-law's body, guilt and remorse crash over him. He understands this is only the beginning, so he swallows his sorrow and carries Ji-an away. A month later, Jinman moves with Ji-an to a remote little town. As she drags her heavy luggage, she stumbles and falls. Jinman coldly warns her, "I'm not your parent, and I can never be." Ji-an quietly brushes the dirt off her hands and gathers her things alone. Later that day, Jinman watches his niece sleep and remembers the doctor diagnosing her with mutism, triggered by the trauma of losing both parents. Thinking of this, he feels deeply guilty for causing her parents' deaths and slaps himself hard. Because she can't speak, Ji-an becomes the easiest target at school. Thankfully, a boy named Bae steps in and stops the bullying. But the kids don't let up. They even mock her father, claiming he killed his cheating wife and then took his own life. Ji-an can't take it anymore. She grabs a chair and fights back. As classes finish, heavy rain is falling outside. All the other kids are picked up by their parents, leaving Jian walking home alone in the rain. Before long, Jinman drives up, but Jian refuses to get in, as if blaming him. He doesn't coax her, he simply hits the gas and drives away. The next morning, Jian refuses to eat the breakfast he made and heads to school alone. Their relationship grows cold and distant. Jinman shows no interest in her life, and Jian is forced to become completely independent. Their only communication is through notes on the refrigerator. She writes what she needs, and he sticks money beside the note. Soon after, her teacher asks about Jian's treatment progress and explains she still can't blend in with other kids, often getting excluded. Jinman understands what the teacher means, but he thinks this is something Jian has to overcome on her own. Meanwhile, those same kids bully Jian again. They spit at her and lock her inside the school storage room. As night falls, Jian once again sees the vicious wolf with the severed hand in its mouth. Terror floods her mind, and for the first time, she cries out her uncle's name for help. Just then, Jinman breaks the lock and bursts the door open. Crying, Jian asks, "Why did you come so late? You said you'd be right back." She's clearly accusing him of breaking the promise he made years ago. Jinman pulls her into his arms, apologizing over and over. From that day on, Jian's mutism miraculously disappears, and the bond between uncle and niece grows much stronger. Time flies. The once little Jian is now a young woman, accepted into university. But one day, she suddenly gets taken to the police station. A man claims Jian assaulted him. Surveillance footage shows the man following a woman into the ladies' room, after which Jian chases him out and beats him on the spot. Jian insists she did nothing wrong, but the cop reminds her that she shouldn't have beat people like that. He tells her to contact her guardian and try to settle the matter with the man. With no other choice, Jian calls her uncle, but a cop answers the phone. With a heavy voice, he tells her that her uncle is dead. In the taxi, Jian sits frozen, replaying the last time she saw him. It was right after she left home for college and rented her first apartment. Jinman had installed security bars on her window and even bought her a bulletproof closet. Looking at the ridiculous setup, Jian complained, "You really think this suits a 20-year-old girl's room?" But Jinman insisted it was retro style, and seriously reminded her that if it rains bullets, the closet will keep her safe. Jian was speechless and went back to unpacking. Jinman notices her student card, and as if realizing something, he hurriedly takes a photo of it. He told her to memorize this number, because it will follow her from birth to death. Jian didn't understand what he meant, only hearing him repeat her ID number over and over. Back in the present, Jian still can't accept that her uncle is gone forever. Suddenly, the driver asks if she's Jinman's niece and introduces himself as Jinman's friend. Upon hearing that Jinman has passed away, he freezes in shock. After she gets out, he hands her his business card and tells her to call any time if she needs help. At the morgue, when Jian identifies the body, she notices a fatal wound on his neck. The police explain no one was caught on the security cameras around Jinman's house for a week, and judging by the angle of the wound, it could have been made by himself. Jian can't help thinking that her uncle is still as unpredictable as ever. Even his death suits him. That's when she spots a Mirtha Help tattoo on his arm. Later, the funeral staff tell Jian she needs to prepare a photo of the deceased. She returns to her home but hesitates at the door, unsure how to face the empty house. Suddenly, a young man walks in and introduces himself as Bae. Jian recognizes him immediately. He's the boy who stood up for her when she was bullied as a kid. Bae explains that recently, he's been working for her uncle, helping him revamp his agricultural hose sales website. So he was the last person to contact Jinman, and he was also the one the police called first. When he hears she needs a photo of her uncle, Bae offers to help without hesitation, and even volunteers to clean the bathroom where the body was found. His gentleness and care give Jian a small sense of comfort. On the day of the funeral, the taxi driver helps her handle all sorts of errands. But what surprises Jian is how many friends her uncle seems to have. They all talk over each other, sharing stories about Jinman. Some say he was the leader for a notorious gang, some claim he was an anti-North spy for the NIS, and others insist he was a hero who saved everyone. Jian lived with her uncle for nearly 10 years, yet realizes she knows almost nothing about him. Outside the funeral home, a mysterious man appears, mumbling, "I'll see you later in hell." Meanwhile, Bae, while cleaning the bathroom, discovers an old button phone. After the funeral ends, Jian is left alone with just an urn. Just then, Bae appears and accompanies her as she takes her uncle to be buried. On the way, Jinmon's friends gossip about how cold-hearted she is for not crying once during the funeral. Bae quietly comforts her, telling her not to take their words to heart. Back home, Jian pretends nothing happened and tries to continue life as usual. But when she sees the family photo, she finally breaks down. She wonders what made her uncle's life so hard and how she's supposed to face the rest of her life alone. Just then, Bae walks in and freezes at the sight of her crying. Through tears, Jian says that she's not doing okay and asks him to stay with her for a while. Once she calms down, Bae hands her the old phone he found. Jian is confused because they both got the latest models long ago. When she turns it on, she discovers that someone wants to buy something worth 70 million from her uncle. But what shocks her most is another message showing that Jin Man's bank account holds 18.7 billion. Jian can't believe her uncle makes that much money just by selling hoses. Curious, she asks Bae to show her the website he revamped for her uncle. Bae studies the source code and quickly finds a hidden entrance. The Mirtha Help symbol on the page matches the tattoo on Jin Man's arm. After the system logs in automatically, a web page filled with all kinds of guns appears on the screen. Jian finds it unbelievable. Her honest, ordinary uncle is actually selling weapons. Just then, a new message appears. "I paid. When will you ship it?" Since her uncle is already dead, she decides to shut the shopping mall down and refund all the money. But the buyer suddenly asks if Young Jinman is dead and adds, "If that's true, you'll die today too." Bae immediately closes the laptop and tells Jian to ignore this lunatic. As they debate whether to call the police, the doorbell rings. Jian cautiously steps outside and sees a short-haired woman calling out her uncle's name. She explains that her uncle isn't home and asks her to come back another time. The woman introduces herself as Min, Jinman's Chinese tutor, but strangely, there's a handgun hidden in her bag. Suddenly, Jian receives a text message. "Don't let anyone else kill you. I'll come and kill you myself." Meanwhile, Min insists on coming in to wait for Jinman, mentioning that Jinman always bragged how pretty and smart his niece is. Jian asks her, "Do you really know my uncle? He would never say that." Realizing she's been exposed, Min leaves the house and drive away. Bae rushes out in a panic, saying he's found something else. This website is operated for authorized members only, and they can get codes according to their grades. There are 4 codes. People who kill people are code red. They're only allowed to purchase weapons like guns or bombs. Spies are code purple. They can only buy listening devices or cameras. Code yellow is for the cleanup crew, who can only buy tools for body disposal and cleanup. Green code stands at the highest level. No one is allowed to attack them, and members must even risk their lives to protect them, and only 2 people hold green codes, Jin Man and Jian. Jian thinks the whole thing is absurd and even suspects it's one of her uncle's pranks. Suddenly, a loud explosion erupts outside. The two rush into the living room and find the wall blown to pieces. 2 armed drones appear, spraying bullets into the house. The bulletproof glass keeps them alive for now, but all signals are cut off and every exit is blocked. The drones fire multiple adhesive bombs, finally cracking the glass open. Jian and Bae dive for cover as bullets rain down. One drone flies inside and keeps firing at the bulletproof closet where Bae hides. It launches another sticky bomb, blowing the door apart, but at the last second, Jian hits the drone's wing with a slingshot, throwing it off balance. She grabs a chair and smashes it to pieces. It turns out that those who attack her are members of the shopping mall. The mastermind behind it all is Lee, the assassin who tried to kill young Jian years ago. He promised everyone a massive reward if they kill her. Blinded by greed, the members ignore the rule forbidding attacks on Code Green and decide to kill Jian themselves. When Jian was 17, her uncle suddenly hired a construction crew to renovate the house, forcing them to move out for 2 weeks. She thought they'd stay at a comfortable hotel, but Jinman dragged her deep into the mountains instead. Halfway up the trail, Jinman twisted his ankle and even developed a fever. Jian wondered why he insisted on coming to a place like this to suffer. Jinman didn't answer. He just said, "When you're in a difficult situation, instead of arguing over right and wrong, it's important to find a way." Then he opened a map and found a shelter with an emergency phone. It means Jian must go there alone to seek help. He handed her a slingshot and solemnly reminded her, "If you think you're in danger, shout my name into the sky 3 times. Then I might just show up." Jian rolled her eyes but still took the slingshot and set off. The moment she left, Jinman pulled out his phone and called his friend. "She's on her way down." Turns out he wasn't sick at all, and his leg wasn't injured either. He planned everything just to train Jian and make her stronger. Meanwhile, Jian wandered through the forest until she finally reached the shelter. The moment she pushed the door open, she saw several wolves ripping into raw meat. The sight triggered her childhood nightmares. She stumbled backward in terror and tripped over a branch. Seeing the wolves approaching, she grabbed her slingshot and fired, but missed. With no way out, she picked up a rock and threw it at the nearest wolf. Suddenly, she remembered her uncle's words. Only the weak bark, the strong don't. Jian pulled the slingshot again and managed to drive one wolf back. Just then, Jinman showed up and fired his gun into the air, scaring the wolves away. On the way home, demanded to know what was going on. After all, he was sweating with a fever just earlier. Jinman awkwardly replied, "Nature must have healed me quickly. I think nature fits me well." To help Jian truly learn how to protect herself, Jinman somehow got hold of a real gun and began teaching her how to use it. After days of practice, Jian finally mastered the basics of shooting. Back in the present, Jian swallows her fear and encourages Bei to hold it together. They use a cabinet door as a makeshift shield and slowly move outside. Just then, another drone flies in. Jian fires her slingshot, but this time she misses. The drone unleashes a burst of bullets, then drops several bombs that send them flying. Jian squeezes her eyes shut, convinced she's about to die, but the next second, the drone crashes to the ground. Earlier, Min noticed a swarm of drones heading toward the house. She immediately grabbed some high-tech gear from her trunk and launched a signal jammer into the sky. Every drone in the area lost control and dropped. Bei staggers up, trying to escape, but Min suddenly tackles him. She scans his wrist with her watch, confirms there's no chip, and injects a tranquilizer into his neck. Thinking Min is here to kill them, Jian fires her slingshot, but she's no match for Min. Min scans Jian's arm and confirms she's the holder of the green code. She calmly points out that Jian is the opposite of her uncle and warns her not to act rashly again. Just as the two are at a standoff, a bullet flies into the house. Min kicks Jian into a safe spot and presses herself against the wall. Not far from the house, a group of assassins is gathering, preparing for an attack. The one who fired the shot is Lee, a sniper hiding inside a car, specializing in precision kills. Inside, Min tells Jian she's here to protect the green code. She also reveals that there's a code implanted in Jian's forearm, and only she and her uncle are the only 2 green codes. To cover Jian's escape, Min throws a smoke bomb. Seeing this, Lee orders his team to deploy drones to clear the smoke. Min shoots the drones down but exposes her position. Lee fires again and hits her arm, knocking her gun to the floor. He then informs his team that the person helping Jian is Min, but the assassins demand higher hazard pay because Min is Class S, holding codes red and purple. Meanwhile, Bei slowly regains consciousness, and Jian tries to grab the gun, only for it to be shot out of reach. Forcing herself to stay calm, she ties broken mirror shards to a broom and uses it to bait the killers into firing. After several tests, she pinpoints the trajectory of the bullets and discovers that the only blind spot in the living room is on top of the fridge. Sensing something is off, Lee orders his men to move the car forward. Jian climbs onto the fridge and leaps off, narrowly dodging another shot. She flips the sofa to retrieve the handgun, but instead finds a high-powered sniper rifle hidden underneath. Guided by Min, Jian quickly assembles the rifle and fires at the sniper's position. The bullet shatters the car window, startling Lee, but her fearlessness only intensifies his thrill for the chase. Elsewhere, the assassins swing down from the bridge and quickly surround the entire house. The situation is dire. Jian has no choice but to work with Min for now. Bei tries to approach them but is nearly ambushed by a killer. Min urges them to head for the warehouse immediately and reveals that beneath Jinmon's workplace floor, there's an entrance leading into the shopping mall. She promises to protect Jian until the very last moment. Then she engages the assassins in a fierce shootout, buying Jian and Bei enough time to escape through the back door. Li instantly relays the situation to his men and prepares to take another shot at Jian. Just as he pulls the trigger for the second time, he falls right into Min's scope, but her bullet misses and hits the driver instead. Meanwhile, Jian and Bei manage to reach the warehouse, but the assassins quickly catch up. Min arrives just in time, blocking the entrance and signaling Jian to get into the basement immediately. Jian reaches the keypad safe and tries both her uncle's birthday and her own, both incorrect. Suddenly, she remembers how during their last meeting, her uncle kept reminding her to memorize her student ID number. Sure enough, that is the password. The floor beneath them slowly descends, revealing that the basement is actually a fully equipped armory. At that moment, a masked man appears with a gun. He politely greets Jian and introduces himself as brother. Then he tosses her a pair of handcuffs and tells her to restrain Bei. While he's off guard, Jian snatches his gun and eventually chokes him unconscious. When she pulls off his mask, she freezes. He looks almost identical to Jun, the boy she once had a crush on in high school. Back then, the two liked each other and often snuck out for secret dates. One night, Jun walked her home and tried to lean in for a romantic kiss under the moonlight. But Jinman suddenly showed up, glaring at him and demanding to check his driver's license. Terrified, Jun ran off and never dared speak to Jian again. The more Jian thought about it, the more furious she became. She complained to her uncle that he was so controlling she couldn't even make friends or date like a normal person. Jinman thought for a moment, then proposed a bet. If she could hit his face even once, he would let her move out. From that day on, Jian attacked him every chance she got, but failed every single time. Even Jinmon's friend Pasin easily dodged her punches and mocked her, saying, "You're too slow, like a slug." Jian lost her temper and tried to hit him, but at Jinmon's signal, Pasin choked her unconscious. When she woke up, Pasin lied that she had fainted from exhaustion. Jian didn't believe him for a second and angrily accused her uncle of making his own niece pass out. Not long after, Jian found Pasin and asked him to teach her how to fight. Pasin said he specialized in Muay Thai, but the training was brutally hard and he advised her to give up. Jian refused and promised to pay for lessons, and the two officially became master and disciple. From that day on, Jian trained day and night. Under Pasin's harsh guidance, her skills improved at an incredible pace. One night, she ran into a girl being harassed by a group of thugs. The girl managed to escape, leaving Jian surrounded. Jian didn't back away. She dropped into a fighting stance and took down two of them in seconds. The last guy pulled out a knife, but Jinman arrived just in time and disarmed him. Soon, the girl returned with the police. On their way home, Jinman warned Jian that with her current skills she couldn't beat a man with a blade and told her to run next time. But Jian didn't take it to heart and planned to continue training with Pasin. Unexpectedly, Pasin disappeared and left Jian a note. "You're not a slug anymore." Back in the present, Jian discovers cameras have been installed everywhere in her living space, even her bedroom and bathroom. Furious, she points a gun at Brother and shouts, "How long have you been watching me? Was this all my uncle's plan?" Brother urgently tells her, "More guys will come soon. We have to go out there and give Min more bullets and medicine." Meanwhile, assassins flood into the warehouse. Min immediately switches off the lights and uses the darkness as cover, taking them down one by one. Terrified of being ambushed, the assassins fire wildly at the ceiling to let some light in. Even then, they can't stop the agile Min and are soon wiped out. Elsewhere, Jian doesn't know if the man in front of her is friend or foe, so she ties him up first. Bei takes the chance to look for clues related to the website. But while the two are distracted, Brother breaks free and warns Jian not to trust Bei. Jian chases after him, but slips and falls into a trap. Brother shuts off the lights, puts on night vision goggles, and easily captures Bei as well. He then connects the basement computer to the computer in Jian's room. He tells Jian to take out a guide about the website from the drawer and begins reading its rules. Since the website's owner, Jin-man, is dead, the website now belongs to Ji-an. Brother, as an employee, must obey the owner unconditionally, even at the cost of his life. When he asks whether Ji-an wants to inherit the website, she agrees without hesitation and orders him to release her. Once she's freed, she also tells him to release Bae. But brother refuses, saying, the boss died because of Bae. Bae repeatedly claims he has nothing to do with her uncle's death and argues that brother is the suspicious one. Brother counters that the computer holds solid evidence proving Bae is the killer. Ji-an feels torn, unsure whom she can trust. Then Bae mentions the time Ji-an was locked inside the school storage room. He's the one who told her uncle to rescue her. Hearing this, Ji-an decides to trust him. She orders brother to take the weapons and medicine to Min immediately. Before leaving, brother hands Ji-an a pair of special glasses and warns her not to come outside of the shopping mall under any circumstances. The moment he's gone, Bae suddenly hugs Ji-an and confesses that he's the one who locked her in the storage room that day. Then he injects her with a sedative, and she loses consciousness instantly. She doesn't know how much time passes before she regains consciousness. Through the special glasses, she sees a recorder hidden inside Bae's chest pocket. Outside, Lee grows impatient that the assassins still can't kill Ji-an, so he takes out high-tech weapon. Meanwhile, Ji-an is tied up while Bae contacts his associates, saying he'll activate Mirtha Help's source and get it to them today, but they demand he kills her first. Bae points a gun at Ji-an, but she shows no fear. She only wants to know why he locked her up back then. Bae says he was curious if the always silent Ji-an was actually mute, so he encouraged his classmates to do it. Ji-an is overwhelmed with rage and wishes she could kill the hypocrite standing before her. Bae continues, saying that years ago, he hacked into Ji-an's uncle's website, but after only 5 minutes, he was forcibly logged out. Before long, someone named Han learned about it and sneaked into Bae's apartment, threatening him and his classmates to locate the website's IP address. Bae completed the trace first, while his classmate, just seconds too late, was shot dead immediately. Bae showed no fear. Instead, he calmly asks if they would get rid of the body. From that moment on, he realized he's a born cold-blooded monster. Later, Han found out he was Ji-an's classmate and instructed him to approach her uncle. At that time, Jin-man happened to be hiring a warehouse manager. Bae applied for the job, and Jin-man, seeing nothing suspicious, hired him. When Jin-man wasn't around, Bae placed a recording pen beside him. One day, he noticed the pen had been turned around. He didn't think much of it, and simply continued using it to record the environment. After that, he started searching for chances to obtain the website's login credentials. Right then, Jin-man's computer crashed due to a virus. Remembering that Bae was good with computers, he asked him for help, and that was how Bae managed to slip into his system. What he didn't know was that brother was monitoring his every move. Late that night, Bae finally got the website's username and password. Thrilled, he suddenly sensed danger closing in, so he quickly installed a special plug-in on the computer. He warned the assassin that if he died, the website would reset, and they wouldn't be able to access it. But Han didn't care. He insisted on killing him. Cornered, Bae offered a deal. He claimed he could take out Ji-an's uncle and seized control of the website for them. Unexpectedly, everything unfolded exactly the way he planned. He fabricated a recording of Ji-an being kidnapped, tricking Jin-man into believing she had fallen into Han's hands. To save the only family he had left, Jin-man agreed to do as he said. He called Pasan, told him he didn't have to pay back the money, and then walked into the bathroom. Even Bae doesn't expect someone as sharp and brave as Jin-man fell for such a lame trick. When Ji-an learns her uncle died trying to save her, she breaks down in tears, but she soon forces herself to calm down and analyze the situation. Now she is the only code green left, and she believes there are more people like Min will try to protect her. Bae isn't like her. He's expendable, and no one would care if he died. Even so, Bae still refuses to cooperate with her. Just as he raises his gun, Ji-an kicks him hard and locks him with her legs. While the two struggle, she fights to break free from the ropes and reach a weapon. Enraged, Bae fires several shots at her. Ji-an hides in the shadows, rapidly calculating her next move. She recalls her uncle's words, "You need to use everything around you in times of crisis." Glancing around, she grabs a bucket of lubricant and pours it onto the floor. When Bae steps forward, he slips and falls straight into her trap, ending up suspended in midair. Ji-an seizes the moment and knocks the despicable guy unconscious. To deal with the crisis, she opens the website's guidebook and finds a message Jin-man left for her. He gives her two options. 1. Escape through the back route, where he has prepared a new identity and enough money for her to live safely from now on. 2. Stay and fight alongside those who are risking everything to protect her. As Ji-an hesitates, Min upstairs has already taken down several assassins. Brother remembers that Jin-man once rebuilt this house, so he smashes the wall and finds heavy weapons hidden inside. Meanwhile, Lee gets a call. His partner says they need Ji-an's facial recognition to take over the shopping mall. This means they can't kill her yet, so Lee decides to unleash his ace weapon, a robot dog. It moves incredibly fast and can even dodge bullets with ease. Seeing this, Brother immediately activates the defense system, lowering the bulletproof walls to protect the house. Unexpectedly, the dog blocks one of the walls just in time, allowing the assassins to slip inside. Then, it drills a hole through the living room wall and sprays gas inside. Brother quickly raises and drops the wall again, disabling the dog. A flash grenade comes flying out, and right after that, Min bursts through, unloading bullets at the enemy. She takes cover behind the sofa, dodging incoming fire, and finishes them off one by one when they pause to reload. Just then, Ji-an steps in to assist Brother, providing cover fire. She helps the injured Min up, then throws 2 grenades forward. Lee is completely lost about what's happening, and even the robot dog's signal is gone. Inside the house, the 3 escape through a tunnel to the bathroom and quickly wrap Min's wounds. Suddenly, a huge guy kicks down the door, shoots Min twice, and drags Ji-an out. Brother rushes out to stop him but gets kicked aside. Ji-an tries to fight back, but she's beaten brutally. Right when things look hopeless, Pa-sin appears and kills the guy on the spot. Ji-an throws herself into his arms, but Pa-sin doesn't even have time to comfort her. He quietly warns her, "Bail is coming, the man who killed your parents." 14 years ago, Jin-man was the captain of a professional mercenary team. During one mission, they were ambushed, but the squad worked flawlessly and wiped out the enemy quickly. After the battle, Bail still hadn't returned. He was highly skilled but vicious, often killing innocent civilians. A rookie followed his trail to a house, only to find Bail torturing civilians. Just then, Lee walked in, and he was on Bail's side. To cover it up, he shot the rookie dead without hesitation, even though the rookie had just saved his life moments earlier. Soon after, Jin-man's team arrived. Seeing the rookie's body, Jin-man was confused, but Lee lied and claimed the rookie had sacrificed himself to protect civilians. Then a little boy appeared. Jin-man noticed the boy's gun had no magazine and tried to stop Bail from shooting, but he was too late. Bail said coldly, "There can't be witnesses." That's when Jin-man truly realized how dangerous Bail was. He reported to his superior Han, explaining that the bullet that killed the rookie didn't come from rebel forces. But Han didn't care at all. He even praised Bail as a natural combat machine. He said softly, "You are both precious to me, and the only person who can control Bail is you." In the end, Jin-man gave in, but with one condition. From now on, don't put Bail in my operations. Soon after, Bail was taken to a military tribunal for massacring civilians. Lee desperately defended him, claiming the civilians were killed by rebels. And for the first time, Jin-man betrayed his own conscience, saying he hadn't witnessed Bail killing anyone. Bail was found not guilty, yet he kept acting all high and mighty. Before long, Han broke his promise and ordered Jin-man and Bail to carry out the next mission together. If this operation failed, the company would bear a huge loss. Han repeatedly assured Jin-man that there were no civilians anywhere near the area of operations. To capture the target smoothly, Jin-man had no choice but to follow orders. Before departure, he warned Bail not to cause trouble by acting alone like he had before. Bail looked annoyed, but he still nodded. After the mission, the mercenaries found 2 unarmed men and ordered Bail to hand them over to the police as instructed. However, Bail tossed them a knife, labeled them armed threats, and killed them in seconds. As the team prepared to withdraw, Lee discovered 4 trapped women in a hidden room. Without hesitation, Bale threw a grenade and blew them up on the spot. Meanwhile, Jinman and Pasin successfully captured the target. Suddenly, an explosion echoed nearby. They rushed over and found the women's bodies. Jinman stared at Bale in shock. Bale said nothing. He simply reached for his gun. Jinman immediately prepared to counterattack. Knowing Jinman wouldn't let this go, Bale finally admitted what he had done. After much hesitation, Jinman decided to report everything truthfully to headquarters. The team then began planting explosives throughout the building to destroy all evidence. Right then, Jinman sensed someone hiding in the room. Sure enough, a woman armed with a dagger tried to attack him, but failed. She dropped to her knees, begging for mercy. Unable to hurt her, Jinman pretended to stay behind and finish the cleanup, but secretly planned to take her away before the bombs went off. Unexpectedly, Bale hadn't left either. Jinman fired without hesitation, then told the woman to run while he stayed back to buy time. To Bale, killing was nothing but a game, and he was addicted to the thrill. He was fed up with Jinman's superior attitude and decided to settle things through a one-on-one fight. The two clashed fiercely. Bale was more vicious, stabbing Jinman's leg repeatedly. Just as he was about to finish Jinman, the woman returned and shot Bale straight in the eye. Jinman quickly rose and plunged a blade into Bale's chest. Bale warned him, "If you don't kill me now, I'll kill your family, your friends, and then you." Jinman grabbed a gun, but it was empty. With the bombs only seconds from detonating, he had no choice but to flee with the woman. Back at the base, Jinman reported that he had encountered the remaining rebels during evacuation. Bale had come to help, but was trapped by the flames and burned to death. After that, Jinman asked his higher-ups for a break and returned home to reunite with his family. He also asked someone to pack a package and send it from Laos back to Korea. When his friend Honda received it, he was stunned. A woman was inside. She was Min, the woman Jinman had rescued. Honda, a deaf-mute man, ran a hardware store, but secretly, he trafficked weapons. Jinman asked him to take care of Min temporarily while he searched for Bale's body. Honda was convinced Bale was dead because no one could have survived that blast. But the truth was the opposite. Bale is alive, and he teamed up with Lee to take revenge. The next day, Jinman took a long-awaited family photo, but the happiness didn't last. His mother's condition suddenly worsened, and she was hospitalized. She told Jinman to be good to his brother and sister-in-law, and to check on Jian whenever he could. Her words filled Jinman with guilt. He regretted not spending more time with her. Meanwhile, Bale and Lee were recruiting their former teammates, plotting how to take Jinman down. One member wanted out, insisting Jinman's family was innocent. Lee coldly warned him, "If you leave now, both of your kids could be in danger." That night, Bale slipped into Jinman's mother's hospital room. He covers her mouth tightly until the electrocardiogram shows a flat line. The medical staff rushed in to save her, but it was already too late. At the funeral, Jinman requested an autopsy, but his brother furiously refused. He snapped, asking whether Jinman was trying to play a loving son or something now. Not wanting to escalate the conflict, Jinman dropped the idea. But the moment he left with his niece, Lee appeared at the funeral, pretending to be an old friend of Jinman's. He lied, saying he needed help carrying the wreaths, and lured Jian's parents up to the rooftop, where Bale and the others had already been waiting. Meanwhile, Jinman still felt suspicious about his mother's death and told Honda to check the hospital cameras. But Lee had already ordered his men to wipe every trace of them from the footage. On the rooftop, Jian's mother lay on the ground covered in blood, forced to watch her husband being killed. Lee told her their official script would be this. Her husband discovered she was having an affair, killed her, and then took his own life. At dawn, Jinman received a call from a former subordinate. Bale was alive, and he was heading to Jinman's mother's funeral home with Lee. Jinman immediately texted Honda, asking him to go protect Jian. Honda rushed over immediately and pulled him out just before the assassins broke in. With swift, precise strikes, he took the guy down. He then knelt beside Jian, gave her the answer to the riddle she had asked earlier, and hid her in the bedroom. That was when a second assassin entered the apartment with a gun. During the brutal fight, Honda was shot in the abdomen. Hearing the chaos upstairs, Lee hurried up to help. When he saw his own tooth knocked out, he completely lost control. He killed Honda and chopped off his arm. The horrifying scene was burned into little Ji-on's memory, which was why she kept recalling the image of the severed arm. Meanwhile, on his way to the funeral home, Jin-man was blocked by a stalled car. As he tried to go around it, a truck suddenly crashed into him, and a group of mercenaries jumped out, opening fire. Even the car owner was one of them. Thankfully, Jin-man's vehicle was bulletproof, buying him precious seconds to prepare. As the trunk door slowly opened, he burst out firing, catching the mercenaries completely off guard. In the chaos that follows, Jin-man got shot, but he managed to drag himself to Pa-sin's house. Pa-sin quickly removed the bullets and bandaged him up. When Jin-man woke, Pa-sin admitted he had built a peaceful life and didn't want to get involved in this. He urged Jin-man to leave as soon as possible. Before leaving, Jin-man said he needed a weapon. Pa-sin didn't understand why Jin-man tried to kill Bale. Jin-man confessed he wanted to set things right. He regretted not testifying in court back then. If Bale had gone to prison, the women in that room wouldn't have died like that. Hearing this, Pa-sin threw him a handgun and warned him it held only 13 bullets. Inside the hardware store, Min spot 2 assassins closing in on the security cameras. She set up traps in advance and hid in the shadows, only to overhear them saying that Honda was already dead. Holding back her sorrow, she picked up a machine gun and shot the 2 guys dead. Since her location was exposed, she quickly packed up and destroyed the place before leaving. Meanwhile, Bale was furious. After all this time, he still couldn't catch Jin-man and Min. That's when their former superior, Han, suddenly showed up. He wants to stop the infighting and ordered Bale to drop the revenge. However, Han's true purpose wasn't to protect Jin-man, but to kill him with his own hands. Because Jin-man lied during his last report and killed ex-mercenaries in the tunnel. To the company, he must die. Bale, of course, refused to follow Han's order. After hearing Ji-on was hospitalized, he sent more men to kill her. Luckily, Jin-man arrived in time and takes the assassins out in seconds. As he tried to escape with Ji-on, he ran straight into Bale. Bale immediately reached for his gun, when suddenly a group of victims' families rush in. In the chaos, Jin-man slipped away. Not long after, an unexpected visitor showed up at Han's house. Jin-man said he still had 5 bullets, enough to kill Han's entire family, but he didn't do it. He had lost his mother, brother, sister-in-law, and even his friend, and that was enough for what he did. He wanted this war to end, and he would take their secrets to the grave. After weighing the pros and cons, Han agreed. Even so, Jin-man knew one thing for sure. Bale would never let this go. To keep Ji-on safe, he moved with her to a remote countryside town. Then he converted the basement into an armory, preparing for the final showdown with Bale. In addition, Jin-man brought over Honda's younger brother and sent Pa-sin to look for Min. Brother is a computer genius, but he suffers from light sensitivity and can only stay in the basement year-round to assist Jin-man. Min endured hellish combat training under Pa-sin, while Ji-on learned to use a handgun under her uncle's guidance. Back in the present, Pa-sin lays the wounded Min on the bed and removes bullets from her body. Brother enters the underground tunnel and suddenly smells gunpowder. It turns out that Jin-man has already planted explosives inside the wall. Inside the basement, Bae wakes up and struggles violently, eventually sawing through the ropes. He tries to flee by elevator but doesn't know the password, so he turns to the computer for a way out. After a short break, Pa-sin urges everyone to get into the basement immediately. Brother rushes in to stop them, revealing there's a trap inside the tunnel. If they go down now, it'll explode. He adds that the shopping mall is designed to be operated by a manager at all times. If the manager leaves, the system will shut down all operations. Even worse, it takes 24 hours to restart. Right then, someone accessed the shopping mall's server. Brother checks it and tells Ji-on the intruder is Bae. Frustrated, he mutters, "I told you not to trust that guy." As they're discussing options, the broken robot dog suddenly starts spinning and emits a piercing high-frequency noise. Pa-sin fires several shots at it, but nothing works, and Brother soon falls unconscious. The moment the glass shatters, Lee crashes into the house with the twin assassins. Min tries to strike back but gets shot. Pasin glares at his former comrades and roars, "You're coming to hell with me." Hearing that, the twins holster their guns. They want a fair fight. Pasin, relying on sheer skill, takes on both at once, and the three of them clash violently. Meanwhile, Lee storms into the room looking for Jian. She tries to ambush him, but he moves faster and has her pinned down in an instant. Brother shows up just in time and yells at Jian to run, but he ends up getting shot instead. Jian stumbles into the living room, only to find Pasin and Min badly wounded after protecting her. Terror makes her legs go weak. She has no idea where she can still run to. Suddenly, her uncle's voice echoes in her head. Jian forces herself to calm down, grabs a gun, and steps toward Lee. She demands to know if he's the one who killed her parents. Before Lee can answer, a noise comes from nearby. It turns out to be Bei, crawling up from the basement. He grabs a machine gun and opens fire wildly, seeking revenge on everyone who ever looked down on him. When his bullets finally run out, Lee shows no mercy and kills him on the spot. Jian takes the chance to slip into the basement. Only then does Lee realize Bei was actually on their side. He enters the basement, admiring the deadly weapons while searching for Jian. He mouths an apology for killing her parents, but his hands are busy planting infrared bombs around the room. Unaware of the danger, Jian triggers the infrared beam and is blasted away. She hides in the same small room she was trapped in before, hurriedly bandaging the wound on her arm. Cornered and terrified, she breaks down in tears, but soon forces herself to calm down. Jian quietly climbs onto a tool cart and drives straight toward Lee. He dodges to the side, but accidentally triggers one of the infrared bombs he planted himself. Watching gasoline drip steadily onto the floor, he finally realizes he has walked straight into her setup. He is convinced Jian has never killed anyone and won't dare pull the trigger. What he doesn't expect is that Jian calmly fires a shot at the ground. The spark ignites the gasoline at his feet, but the smoke alarm goes off and water sprays down from the ceiling. Without hesitation, Jian pulls the trigger once more, finally avenging her parents. Upstairs in the living room, Pasin wakes the unconscious Min, and brother survives thanks to the bulletproof vest he is wearing. He rushes down to the basement and finds Jian sitting stunned on the floor. When she hears that everyone is still alive, she finally lets out a sigh of relief. But the danger is far from over. On his computer, brother sees a swarm of assassins closing in on their location. It turns out that Jian and her comrades have all been marked with bounties. Now everyone wants to catch them, or steal the weapons hidden in the basement. Brother turns to Jian and asks what they should do. After all, she's the owner now. After a brief pause, Jian tells him to unlock the door. Then she grabs an axe and brings it down on Lee's body. By the time the assassins have gathered in the warehouse, brother walks out holding a sign that reads, "Do not shoot." Right then, Jian turns on the broadcast system and announces that she is the new owner of Mertha Help and that she has a gift for them. Then, brother tosses Lee's severed head out in front of the crowd. Jian calmly admits that Lee died by her hand not long ago. She then reads out the number of assassins in each area and orders them to leave immediately. She promises to split the bounty money evenly among them and even offer discounts and benefits in the future. But if they don't give up and keep trying to take this place, all of them will die here. The assassins came only for the money, so they don't hesitate to retreat. Jian finally lets out a long breath. Pasin returns to the room, only to find that Min seems to have taken her last breath. Brother collapses on the floor, begging Jian not to make him do something like this ever again. Stumbling upstairs, Jian looks around the wrecked house, but Pasin and Min are nowhere to be found. After experiencing something so terrifying, she can't hold it in anymore, can no longer stay calm, and breaks down in tears. Just then, a bus pulls up outside. Jian immediately grabs her gun, ready for the next wave of enemies. A bearded man steps off with his hands raised, explaining that he was hired to clean up the place. Jian recognizes him as the driver from her uncle's funeral and finally lowers her guard. While the workers begin tidying up the house, Jian sits on the steps, exhausted. Suddenly, another car approaches, putting everyone on high alert. But to everyone's surprise, the one who gets off the car is Jin Man.